Hey there, guys. It's like 12 at night. No, it's 1 in the morning. And I decided to randomly start this video because I just been having this thought, right? About how Andrew Tate is basically, he's taken over, right? All that good stuff, right? He won over a lot of very single men, I included. I remember in the beginning of my stuff, and I basically just wanted to make a video and say that honestly, with most of the stuff that he's ever said to uh, about these situations, basically in these discussions, I really wanted to say that I don't know if I'm weird. I don't know if I'm a whatever. But I've been noticing that it just feels like he's trying to. I don't know how to put my word, like an actual like word on it, but it just feels like he's just. I feel like he says something controversial, right? And this is what got him to blow up. He says something controversial, and then 3 seconds later, he will say something that is like, okay, everyone's already thinking about that, right? Whether it be about women, whether it be about your situation in life, stuff like that. And with the whole being single in this generation type stuff, it's hard out here for a brother. I'm not even gonna lie, right? It's very hard. I can understand, but the dudes who watch Andrew Tate, right? Coming from me, I was a person who wanted a wife one day. I wanted the kids, the white picket fence, all that. And what I've noticed is that I been focusing on myself more after my first breakup, right? Whatever. It wasn't even my first breakup, it was more like the seventh. But basically, I've been working on myself ever since that disconnect because I feel like me taking accountability for what I did in the past relationships or like what had happened in the past relationships, even though it might have been them, I also need to look back on myself to basically better myself, right? And the one thing that I've noticed is that ever since I started finally being real with myself, finally not caring about, if I'm going to die alone or not or whatever, I've just become a more confident person, right? I've been going to the gym. I've been, doing what I need to do. I've been living life like Larry, basically. Just going to work, grinding out these little videos because, I want to archive every little moment that I have, right? Whatever. And I've just been going. I just been on it, right? And the one thing that I have to say to like all the single dudes out there, right, who are just in the struggle, I understand, right? But having a woman in your life while you're young, right? That's You shouldn't be worrying about that. You should worry about your financial situation, right? If you are financially stable enough to do things, you're responsible enough to be in a relationship, right? If you can take accountability for your actions, your previous actions, right? That means that you can learn from your mistakes. That means that you can be better, basically. And yeah, that means that you're responsible for a relationship, right? I have like damn near none of these, right? I'm still learning. I'm in this whole identity crisis, whatever, because I don't know, like like, is a boy supposed to be this emotional? I'm an emotional dude. I'm not even gonna lie. But like, am I like, is that normal? Right? Whatever, because of societal standards, right? Which is a whole different ball game. But what I just have to say is, as a dude, focus on yourself. Become comfortable with being alone. If you become comfortable with being alone, right? Eventually, you're gonna just stop thinking about that. You're gonna stop thinking about it, and then you're gonna be like, I just want money. I just want to upgrade my car. I just want to do all these other things, right? Upgrade yourself until you can't anymore, is what I basically have been saying to myself. Another thing is, okay, I totally lost my point, but yeah, I'm basically getting overwhelmed. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Hold on. The one thing that you shouldn't do is take the words of what some businessman basically says, right? You know, some millionaire who made it big, all that good stuff. I understand the way, and I've seen like his past, right? Whatever. I seen the documentaries that you can find on YouTube about who is this man, whatever. Please don't listen to whoever's on the internet. You just need to listen to yourself. You need to not change for anybody else. You need to be the confident person that you need to be, because in the end of the day, none of it really matters. We're all going to die. And why would you spend your time basically wasting your life with this thoughts of like worry and stress and this and that, right? Because I'm a very huge overthinker, but I recently started to just not care, right? I have that type of attitude where I don't care anymore, right? I'm a homie towards everyone, so you give me a reason not to, but I basically don't care anymore. And what I've noticed is that, again, like, you build up this immunity once you start to not care anymore, once you start to be nice to others, all that good stuff, right? Because before I was just a pouty, wowdy baby, right? Or whatever. And basically, like, I was just a bitter person. I was just a really bitter person, and I had a whole discussion with my friend, right? Because he's like 2 years older than me, and he basically had said, "Yeah, you know, I had to break the cycle, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't, you know, whatever." And I totally understand that. You know, a lot of people, they can't get that out of their head, and trust me, I understand that it's hard out here, right? Because you're always constantly like thinking about unnecessary things for no reason. And when you start to just let those thoughts break you down and everything, it's kind of crazy. Like, the amount of times I just became like insane for like a good few seconds, it's crazy. And I'm like, yo, because I was reading over the internet, whatever, that yeah, when you have a mental breakdown, that's actually like it's temporary insanity. So I'm like, damn, that's what insanity feels like. Like, imagine the people who are like gone. Like, it's crazy, and I just told myself I don't want to end up like that. I'm a young guy. I'm barely 21, but I feel like I'm, you know, level-headed enough to understand things. Yeah, but basically, I just wanted to say, don't fully listen to what this man really has to say, because honestly, he's kind of giving like really bad advice. Like, oh, you know, you should just overnight become confident. You should be fucking hoes and bitches and whatever, and hoes on the ceiling and stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's a cool and lavish life, right? You know, you can get all these cars, you can get all these whatever, but like in the end, none of that really matters. Like, I'm not going to take that stuff with me to the grave. Like, money isn't for the root, like, it's not the root of all happiness, all right? It is a route for happiness, but it's like not the root for all happiness, basically. And what I've noticed is I started basically talking to family, talking to friends, this and that, having the awkward conversations about why, you know, why is it like this, you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, you know, honestly, they kind of gave bad advice to me, but you know, there might be actual family members out there who've probably gone through the same similar things, right? Because my friends actually had helped me through all these things. And yeah, it's basically you gotta beat that mentality into you that you don't need money to be happy, right? But like, you know, you still need money to survive, basically. It's like one of those things where like you're grinding, yeah, you know, you can shoot for higher if you want and all that good stuff, or you can just settle for that office job for the rest of your life one day, right? Whatever. As long as you got people who actually care about you in this life, honestly, I feel like that's all you really need. That's what I've noticed when I basically had started like overthinking and I started finally talking to people. and everything. It was just like, okay, well, I need to socialize more because I need to at least be a functioning member of society, which I understand could be scary for a few, like, introverts out there and everything, because I'm an extroverted introvert, right? Whatever. You just have to make those little pushes because you can meet really cool people like in this life that have also probably gone through the same things, could probably help you on things, right? So it's always good to have a friend, right? It's always good to be making more friends because then it builds those connections and it builds the little community. And that's the one thing that I had liked, right, about Andrew Tate. He basically had built this entire community. Very young men are passionate with all this stuff, and it's amazing, right? It's cool, but like some of the things that he preaches, like the whole cheating thing and everything, like I don't think okay with that, because that's weird, that's wrong, you know, and basically I basically was just listening to that, and I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of weird, but I do like his stuff about, like, single men have it, like, really bad and, all that good stuff, which is kind of true. Men are kind of, like, really hated on in society in America. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why, right? I'm just living. And there are some women out there who just hate me, just absolutely hate my guts. And I'm like, okay, well, that's life, I guess. But yeah, I don't know where I was even going with this. I was kind of like going off, but the whole society thing, you shouldn't let that get you down, right? Just work, keep on working, build something, hopefully with someone, but at the end of the day, don't be worrying about trying to date. You got your entire future ahead of you. This is for young people, right? This is for young people. You got your entire future ahead of you, right? And the one thing that you need to keep on beating in your head right now is that, okay, if I was a girl, would I date me? Right? Just tell yourself that, right? And keep on upgrading yourself until you're confident enough. Maybe go to the gym. The gym, actually, honestly, look, if there's any lazy people who are watching this, the gym honestly really works, right? It works all that stuff. It makes you less rowdy down there. It's amazing. I love it. But yeah, you just gotta focus on yourself, King. Focus on yourself out there, please, because that's literally the only way, right? You just have to be a better person. There's always someone out there that is just better than you. You gotta keep on doing better. And once you are better, you will have an awesome car. You'll have everything. You won't stand for anybody's bull BS, basically. And yeah, you'll be able to finally, like, just do things. Yeah, go explore. The world is honestly really big, and yeah, that's honestly what I want to do. I just want to explore. I just want to live. Just be free and everything. But I gotta work for it. So yes, all I'm just gonna say is the truth behind all this stuff and everything. The actual truth is just to go to the gym, take accountability of past and previous mistakes, and pull a Kratos and be better. That's it. Yeah, I just had these random thoughts. I don't know where this really came from. It's like 2 in the morning. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say thanks for listening. And please, for this, the sanctity of your brain, for the young men out there, please take accountability for your actions, become better, go to the gym, right? That's the one thing that you definitely need to do, is just go to the gym. And every time you overthink, this is the one thing that always helps me, and I hopefully it will help someone out there. Every time I overthink, I just say to myself, well, there's no point to thinking about something that's out of my control, stuff like that. Because really there isn't, right? When you start to overthink and you start to, think about all these crazy things and everything, you start to lose the reality of who you are as a person. And that's kind of a scary thing, because when you start to think about those things, it starts to change you of who you are, right? And when you start to change, it can either make you a vile human being or it can make you a Giga Chad. But the one thing that I noticed, because I was a crazy nutcase back then, and honestly, I kind of wish I can go back in time and beat the living daylights out of my younger self. But the one thing that I noticed when I was going into those mindsets, I kept on telling myself that, like, yo, I'm really messed up. I don't want to change. I don't care to change. There's no point of it all. Women are too hard to please nowadays. It's all stupid. It's all whatever. Society's programming and everything. But honestly, I'm going to be real with you, Chief. That's not true. Most of these women that we like to target, and I've noticed this, right, with the women that I dated, most of the women that we like to target is attractive, right? And for most, they, I'm not saying all, most, they put such a high standard, right? They're young, they're naive, they're stupid, whatever. They put this high standard on men that they are the ones who need to, do all the crazy stuff. They have to do all this to keep me happy so that I can give up my body to them and stuff. And it's like, okay, first of all, not all women think like that, right? I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. That's a majority of the women, right? Because they're all trying to be the next Kim Kardashian, right? But most women don't think like that. And I had a full on conversation with a woman about this, right? And we were talking about this whole Andrew Tate guy, and she was like breaking it down for me that, like, yeah, every time you mess around with someone who has a high ego, you're then like repeating the same things. You're saying like, oh yeah, this person is going to be the same, right? It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. And then after you moved on to your seventh girlfriend, you're gonna have repeated the cycle so much that eventually you're gonna be defeated, and then you're gonna be saying in your head like, "Oh, women are bad, and they're again too hard to please. They're this and that, right? Whatever." But again, most women don't think like that, and it took me a while to like finally get that in my head that yeah, women don't. Not all women think like that. So basically, what I have to say is, that yeah, I was being petty, I was being whatever, but once you start not giving yourself these excuses and you finally start getting out there, you will be able to finally like once you get out there and you start working on yourself and everything, you'll finally be able to call people out on their BS. Like you'll see it early on, so it'll make you a better person, right? It'll make you a better person to be able to be like, hey, yo, this person is just using me for my money or whatever, or just using me for this and that. And then like you actually have like evidence that, yeah, you are whatever. Don't falsely accuse people out there just because of your own little instincts. Basically, yeah, like it works out in the end, right, for you, because your potential mate might be a bad a succubus, right? um but yeah, like I had to have a full-on this conversation with this woman, and she helped me basically to not think like that and to just go into life and to become a confident person, right? And everything, just again, live your life. It's way too short. There's not a lot going on here. Just do what you gotta do, right? Do what you gotta do. Live your life. See the experiences. Enjoy the experiences that you have with either friends or family, and just live. That's it. That's all you should be doing. That's all you should be caring about and everything. We shouldn't be worrying about, am I ever gonna get married? Am I gonna die alone? It's like, no, you shouldn't be worrying about that at all, especially if you're young, right? Because, well, this is for the young people out there. Don't think about these things at all, right? Because if you start to think about these things, it's going to consume you, and then you're going to be thinking about this, and then you're going to be crying. You're going to be crying, you're going to be bawling out, and then you're going to be in this paradoxical situation where, oh, the women are the enemy, but I'm okay in just the right way. Women should accept me for who I am. It's like, no. You have to work on yourself, right? Because again, a woman will not want you if you're not confident, right? You have to be confident. I'm sorry, you just have to. You have to be a man. You have to not care about other people's opinions. You should always be able to speak your own opinions, stand your ground as a person, and you need to just basically do it, right? And me, who doesn't like a lot of confrontation, right? I'm kind of struggling on this for the whole confidence thing. If you don't have the confidence, it kind of just it makes you look like a dork, right? Like you're just a dork. That's basically it, right? And yeah, people should accept you for who you are and this and that, but it's like your likeliness of attracting a mate out here and doing this and that while you have this mentality is not going to get you far. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. It's not gonna get you far. And another thing that I would like to say is sex is kind of overrated, right? If you're wanting to like get laid out there, but you're scared to like talk to women and this and that, let me tell you, let me just save you, right? Whatever, it's overrated. Like once you've had enough, once you've had like fucking like a lot of ladies or whatever, or you had it a few times or whatever, eventually you just don't feel anything. And then you're just like, damn. Well, I mean, it was nice, it was cool, but now like that lust is gone. And like I know it's supposed to happen like later on in my life, but it happened like when I'm basically 21 right now. And it's like, is that normal? Like, is that normal for me as a human to like just lose their sex drive all of a sudden? And it's like, damn, that's weird. I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, basically women don't want to date a dork, right? So, you gotta work on yourself. You have to. Like, you just have to. If you want to get a mate out here, you have to be a confident person who won't take shit from anybody, and you're basically just a guy who can speak his opinion. While also being respectful, of course. We don't need to make more assholes out here. But, yeah, that's the one thing that I'm kind of struggling on right now, because I don't like confrontation, but, like, again, I don't want to, like, just sit there and take it, Like, if someone ever calls me out or whatever, I don't want to sit there and just take it, That's bad. But, yeah, I was working on that. I am working on that, and, yeah, I'm just living life. Another thing about insecurities. If you have to work on your insecurities. Those things, right? Remember what I said back in the previous of this, the previous minutes of this little discussion I'm having at like 2 a.m. So basically, you need to work on your insecurities before you even think about going into a relationship. Because if you have insecurities or you have past trauma from anything, right? You need to work on that stuff before you get into a relationship. And that is the one thing that I have noticed, because, I was kind of crazy. Whatever. That's why I'm kind of, like, just staying away from dating as a whole. But basically, yeah, you can't be insecure, because nobody wants an insecure type of person. And I've noticed this, right? It's not societal standards. It's not all this dumb BS or whatever. You just need to work on yourself. Like I've been saying, again, you need to work on your insecurities, be better from those previous mistakes, and live your life. What is it? Another thing that I can think of that I struggled on that might, whatever. I really cannot think of anything else, but what I've noticed from humans is that they're so, like, hell bent on wanting a family. They're so hell bent on like all these other dumb things and everything. And it's like, again, you didn't check yourself before you even, or even thinking about taking on a full on responsibility and everything. And that's the evolution brain that's taking over your mind, basically. That's the evolutionary way of thinking. Like, yeah, I need to I need to get a family. I need to get a girlfriend. I don't want to be a loser or all this other dumb things and everything. So yeah, what I'm basically saying is, in order to get a female out here, don't be a loser. Just don't be a loser, right? And I'm still a loser. I'm not gonna lie, but you need to work on that type of stuff, right? Whether it be with friends, you got to talk to them, on what to say, or oh well, I'm having troubles with this person, and I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to talk to the ladies and everything, and yeah. And basically, for all the dudes out there, don't be sad. Just don't be sad at all, right? You're good. You have your entire life ahead of you. Worry about getting a house one day. Worry about, again, bettering yourself. I cannot stress that enough. I don't know why I keep on saying that throughout this entire video, but I cannot stress that enough. And please, just live your life to the fullest. Work on your car. Do something that'll keep you busy. Get a dog. Do something. Because if you let this type of thinking consume you, like, yeah, I'm broke, I have nothing, I have whatever, then you're always going to be broke, you're always going to be this and that, you're always going to have nothing because you already implemented it in your mind. You need to focus on the positives. Once you focus on the positives, you can then make a better way of living, even if you're doing financially poor, right? You will eventually find a good way of living if you don't think about what you should be having right now. If you don't think about that type of stuff, it will finally open your mind to those types of things where it's like, oh, well, I don't have this, but let me solve this problem by doing things to get this, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing way of thinking. Because I finally got out of that mentality that, like, I have nothing. I've always had nothing, whatever. But ever since I got this job, I'm finally, doing what I gotta do. I finally have money. I can finally, do whatever I need to do, and it's amazing. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, don't focus on those dumb things. Don't focus on getting a girlfriend right now, right? Strengthen your mind. Strengthen your mind so that later on in life you can't take BS from anybody, right? And always be respectful. Even if the other person is being an asshole, always be respectful, right? Kindness always wins. Kindness always wins against the bad. And I've noticed that with previous GFs that always try to take me back. They were toxic. I, was young and stupid, would come back to them, and then I eventually realized that, yeah, I shouldn't be doing that because that's kind of bad. That's kind of weird. So yeah, like I've dealt with those types of BSs, and the one thing that you need to just tell yourself is, okay, that's how life is. Hopefully my future can be good, but I need to work on... I keep on just saying that throughout the entire video because... that's really what I'm trying to push here, is like, if you work on yourself, you don't have time to be, oh, I'm sad because I don't have any women, or I'm sad because I don't have whatever. It's like, it's amazing. It's amazing being single. You also need to break that in your mind that it's okay to be single and that it's okay to be alone. Once you're comfortable being alone, it's amazing. There's a lot more of you time. Take yourself out on a date. Once you take yourself out on a date, it's kind of different. I remember I took myself out to a dinner, and then I went to go see the movies. And honestly, you start to learn things about yourself. Once you start taking yourself out on dates and everything, you start to like truly learn about yourself, and it's actually kind of like insane because I've learned a lot about myself. I learned, what I am, who I am, and it's just such a beautiful thing. Like, it makes me feel better, basically. So please, I've been rambling on enough. It's like 3 in the morning. I know this is all random, but please, work on yourself. Work on yourself. Be free. Live life. Don't worry about having girlfriends or this and that. And for all the virgins out there, for most men, and this is the reason why they're virgins, for most, not all, most, you need to socialize more. I understand it's going to be painful, but you got to socialize more. Most of those dudes are introverts. I understand. I understand the pain. It's not always the case. That's why I said not all men. But yeah, just focus on, losing that V card if you want, if you care. If you don't, good, whatever. But yeah. So I'm just going to leave this right here. Don't ever trust what any random person on the internet says about, oh, well, this is how you make money, this is how you get women, this is how you whatever. Because most of the time, they're rich. They don't really have to deal with the struggles of every normal day humans and everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, I'm just going to leave it with this, like I've been trying. Please be safe out there. Live life. And I'm terrible at goodbyes, so goodbye.